Let's take the feet wide and just let the knees lean in against one another. Yeah, so let the knees touch one another and lean against one another, almost like the poles of a teepee, right? So they're supporting one another so that the inner thighs can just relax. And then noticing all the places where your body is making contact with the floor. Letting your face relax, your jaw relax. And today we're focusing on just the whole spine. So, building awareness in your spine, noticing how your spine feels, how the muscles around your spine feel. And so, you could begin by just noticing all the way down by your tailbone, noticing where the sacrum is touching the floor. So, the sacrum is the bone, it's like fused vertebrae basically between the two halves of your pelvis. So that's likely touching the floor here. And then above the sacrum, you come into the lumbar spine, the low back. And some of you might have issues around, it's really common to have issues around like the L5 and S1 joint of the vertebrae. And so this area of the low back is meant to curve away from the floor. That would be the natural curve there. But a lot of times, just with whatever back issues you may have had over time, you might find that you don't have a low back curve that comes away from the floor. So we'll play around with that in a moment. And then the mid back, so you come up the lumbar spine, and then you come into the thoracic spine, and that touches down to the floor again. It's where your rib cage is as well. That goes all the way up into the upper back. And then you get into your cervical spine. So noticing how your neck feels. And your neck might be curving away from the floor if you still have your neck curved. That would be the natural curve. And then the back of your head would be touching the floor. And so just take a breath here, beginning your umbrella breath, inhaling and feeling the rib cage expand. And exhaling a long exhale. And again. Good. And now let's take the feet and knees hips distance apart so the knees are no longer touching. Good. And from here, let's inhale and press the low back down to the floor. And then as you exhale, can you rock your pelvis forward? And so the low back comes away from the floor in a low back curve, but bigger than the neutral curve. And then repeat. So you inhale, press it down, and you exhale, rock it forward. And if you want to, you could even put your fingers on your hip bones in the front here. And so you can feel the pelvis as it rocks forward and back. And you might notice if you've got low back pain, if either of these positions hurts your back, then you'll just make the movement smaller and note what is the range of motion that feels okay in your back. And if you don't have any pain, go ahead and make the movement a big movement. So you'll notice, if you can see me, I can fit, when I rock my pelvis forward, I can fit my whole arms underneath my curve. And then when I press it down, I get full contact with the floor. I'm not having any pain. So that feels fine for me, right? And then find a spot in between the two, in neutral spine. And it might not be where you naturally go to, but as long as there's no pain, try it. And in that position, I can fit my hands underneath my low back, between my low back and the floor. And now try your umbrella breath there, just taking an inhale and feeling the rib cage expand three-dimensionally, and then a long exhale. And then try the inhale again. And as you exhale, begin to rock your head side to side, noticing how your neck feels. Now, what is the range of motion in your neck today without pain? Letting your jaw relax as you rock your head. And then bringing your head back to the center, let's widen the feet and widen the arms. And then gently let the knees fall side to side in windshield wipers. And as you do that, notice how it feels on your low back. Letting your breath flow. Noticing how it feels through the hips as well, and the knees. And just noticing as you roll over your feet. Good. And now coming up to the center here, let's just draw one knee into the belly and then the other knee into the belly. You can hold above or below your knees and just give them a squeeze with your arms. And noticing how that feels on your low back. You can have them both in at the same time here. You might even make little circles on your low back. Good. And now let's place one hand on each knee, either above it or below it. And as you inhale, let's squeeze the knees in as tightly as you can in your own hips. And as you exhale, let the knees come away, straight away, and your arms straighten. And you might come to a natural curve. And then you just inhale, pull them in, thighs toward belly, and then the knees move away and arms straighten. Good. And just repeat that. It's a small movement. One more. Good. And as the knees come away, let's let the feet come down toward the floor, touching down. And we're going to inhale. And as you exhale, let's straighten out the legs on the floor. Good. Arms can just rest at your sides. And inhale, can you now press the back of your head into the floor and tuck the chin down so you make a double chin? Yeah. So if you need to, you might need to fold up an extra fold in your blanket to be able to get enough pressure into the floor to make that double chin. Good. Keep breathing. Inhale. Now, as you exhale, can you keep the double chin and lift the head off the floor to try to look towards your feet as long as there's no pain? And then keep the double chin as you lower back down. Relax the neck when you get there. Good. And now we're going to try to feel that again. So inhale, make your double chin, really press it down. Keep the double chin as you exhale and try to look between the feet. And then inhale as you lower back down and relax the neck. Good. So we're going to try to train some of our core muscles to support our neck and just throughout everything that we do. Okay, so we're going to work on that right now. We'll bend the knees, inhaling. And as you exhale, let's lift the right foot off the floor and hold the knee with your left hand. Good. And we're going to inhale, take your hand behind your head, your right hand behind your head. Good. And now on your next exhale, let's let the elbow curl around the ear and tuck the chin down and lift the head and shoulders off the floor. And then on your inhale, lower back down. Okay, now we're going to try to carry the neck. So you're not using the neck. Again, on the exhale, come up and see if the top of your head, when you lift up, can be pointing toward the ceiling and your eyes looking toward the horizon. So just like right ahead of you, and see if that makes the movement easier. Your left knee is bent with the foot on the floor. So yeah, there you go. And then another thing to notice as we train these muscles to work is move the sternum down in order to lift the shoulders up. So see if you can feel that initiate the movement. The sternum moves down to lift the head and shoulders up. Good. And the next time you come down, let's release the knee and release the arm and just take a breath there. Inhaling and exhaling. Good. Now inhale, lifting the left foot off the floor. We're going to put the left hand on the left knee. So left hand, you guys. Yeah, that's it. Right hand behind the head. Good. Now we're going to inhale, let the right elbow come up, and exhale as you peel the right shoulder off the floor and look to your left as you come across the body a little bit. And inhale, come back down. Good. Now, as you exhale, we're going to make this movement as easy as possible if you can. Now, what happens if you look to the left a little more with your eyes? Does that make the movement easier? Just noticing. And as you come up, notice how the right shoulder peels off the floor and the left shoulder gets heavy on the floor to help you come across. So you're actually coming off the floor. You're not staying, your head is not staying on the floor. Yeah, you're trying to come across the body. Good, and just one more here. Jaw relaxed, carrying the head. Good, and when you come down, let the foot come down, the arms relax. Following the breath in and out. All right. Now we're going to lift the left knee off the floor again, but this time we're going to hold it with the right hand. Inhale, taking the left hand behind your head, the elbow curls around by the ear. And exhale, as you come up, think about sternum moving down to help you lift. And inhale to lower. And repeat. So as you come up, can you allow the top of your head to face the ceiling and your eyes are looking at the horizon? Think sternum down to help shoulders peel off. Jaw relaxed. One more. Good, and release and rest. Feet come down, arms relax. Take an umbrella breath here. Good. And then inhale, let's lift the right foot off the floor and hold it with the right hand. And then left hand behind head. Wait for your exhale, and exhale. Start to peel the left shoulder off the floor, elbow curls around ear, head comes off floor. You're going toward the right. Yeah, you're coming across your body, and inhale, come back down. Good, and exhale. Your left shoulder peels off the floor. You get heavy on the right, and look over to your right, seeing if that makes it easier when you come up. Letting the head just be carried by the hand. Last one. And when you come down, release. As you exhale, straighten out your legs on the floor. Inhale and exhale. Okay, we're going to recheck this lifting up and see if now the core muscles have been trained anymore to help the neck not have to work as hard. So what we'll do is inhale, make your double chin. So we're engaging the deep neck flexors. And then as you exhale, think sternum moves down to help you lift up, and look at your feet and just see if it's any easier. Keeping that double chin all the way back down. And we'll try it one more time. Inhale, making your double chin. Exhale, think sternum moves down to help you lift. And then lower back down and release. Good. Just pausing for a moment and noticing how your neck feels. So if you feel like you're using your neck too much in that lifting, really want to try to focus on training your core, right? Which is a little bit of what we were just doing. So that the sternum moving down, the abdominals engage to lift the head, not the neck. The neck doesn't need to be used as much. All right, let's bend the knees. And if you want to stretch the arms overhead, you could inhale and just stretch arms overhead for a moment. And exhale, bring the right knee in and hold behind the knee. Good. Inhale, give it a squeeze. Good. Exhale, stay there. And inhale, try to straighten it up toward the ceiling. And then exhale, bend it again and repeat. So inhale as you stretch it up, try to kick through the heel. You can hold behind the leg and press the leg into the hands. You interlace your fingers so you can get a good hold and feel that hamstring muscle behind the leg. Okay, next time you get it up there, let's leave it up there and just see if you can get it totally straight. Some of you might have to let go with your hands in order to let the leg come away from you in order to straighten it completely. Good. Yeah, so can't look at it so you can tell if it's straight. Keep breathing. Good. Relaxing through your jaw, relaxing through your face. Nice. And then letting go with the hands if you haven't already. See if you can lower it down to the floor, keeping it straight all the way down. Good. And then once you get there, just pause, relaxing the leg and noticing. Following your breath in and out. Good. And now let's bend that right knee and exhale, bring the left knee in and hold it in tight. Inhaling there and exhaling. And then inhale, straightening the leg up toward the ceiling as you interlace fingers behind the leg, and exhale, bend and repeat. So just notice, can you get that leg straight? And if you can't, you're free to, let go with your hands if that feels okay on your back, and see if moving the leg away from your hands more allows you to straighten the leg. Good. You guys. And then the next time that you get that leg straight, let's leave it there and hold and breathe. Remember, you can always let go and move it away from your face. Let's see if you can straighten it all the way. Keep breathing. Good. And then slowly exhale, lowering the leg to the floor, seeing if you can keep it straight, and then relaxing it. Following your breath in and out. All right, and bending the knee again. And you can remove anything from behind your head unless when you remove the pillow or blanket, if your chin is way up toward the ceiling like this, when you take away the blanket, then you'll want to keep a blanket there just so that your chin is parallel to the floor and your forehead is on the same plane as your chin. Okay. Knees are bent for bridge pose. And what we're going to do in our bridge pose today is we're going to just focus on our spine moving sequentially, even if you're just picturing it. Okay, so what we're going to do is inhale and press the low back down to the floor. Lengthen your tail forward as you peel your tail off the floor, and then your sacrum pressing into your feet, and then maybe your low back, and maybe even higher if you can. And now if you need an extra breath, you can take it, or you can begin your exhale now, lowering down one vertebra at a time. Low back, and then hips, and then tail, and then we'll come up again. You can take as many breaths as you need to go slowly. So you press low back down, lengthen tail up, then peeling up low back, maybe higher into the mid back. And then exhale, slowly going down, seeing if you can lower down the mid back, then the low back, and then finally the sacrum. And repeating. Just focusing on your own spine, taking as many breaths as you need to come up and down. And only going as high as feels okay in your own back. Using those glute muscles, the butt muscles are squeezing. Your feet are working. Just one more. And then next time you come down to the floor, let's draw the knees in toward the belly. You can have your hands above or below them. You could rock or make circles. Just noticing how your back feels. Good. And then placing your feet back down on the floor. Now, you might want your head and neck support again. You can decide, and we'll take also one yoga block, or you could use a pillow. And what we're going to do is come onto whatever side you can see me better on. And I'm going to place the top knee on your block. You could put it on the medium height. Okay, and the bottom leg will be straight. Okay, and then my bottom hand is going to be on my knee. Okay, my top hand is going to go behind my head. And this is what I'm going to try to do, and you can always watch me first if you want. What I'm going to do is I'm going to inhale as I try to rock my head and my upper back, elbow toward floor, but keeping my knee on the same space. And then I'm going to exhale. I'm going to try to rock it forward. I'm actually lifting my head and I try to round my back. My elbow comes toward the floor on the front side. And then again, I'll inhale, place my head back down, try to open up my elbow while keeping the knee solid on the block. And then I'll exhale, bring the body across, round the spine. See if you can come across elbow toward floor. So my left shoulder is off. My head is off the floor when I do that part too. I inhale, go back. Then exhale, carry the head. You can lift it off the floor, round the spine. Good. Now you might not be able to lift the head. I see that some people are not lifting their heads off the floor, but you can just check in your own body. If you're able to lift that head off the floor, and then you put it back down when you roll back. Remember, when you roll back, your head comes back onto the floor and your elbow tries to get to the floor. Yeah, the elbow is going way out to the side and toward it. Yeah, I know. It won't necessarily get there. You just go in toward it. Good. Last one. And then slowly release. You can release the arm and just come onto your back. And notice the two sides of your body, breathing in and out. Now you can just roll over to your other side, or I'm going to flip around just so I can still see you. It's totally up to you. And from here, we'll do the same thing. Okay, so right now we're working on our thoracic spine, right? We're trying to gain mobility in that upper back. Remember, the top knee comes onto the block straight out from the hip, and the head can be supported with a blanket. Bottom hand comes to knee. Top hand comes behind head. Bottom leg is straight. Good. And then from here, you inhale and open up. So the top of your nose faces the ceiling and your elbow tries to reach the floor. Knee stays on block. And then you exhale, curling around, lifting the head, elbow coming toward the floor. And then repeat. You put the head back down, nose tries to face ceiling, elbow tries to go out and down toward the floor. And then exhale around again. And you're not cranking on your neck at all. You're just carrying your head. And every inhale, you're opening up that elbow, trying to take it toward the floor. And every exhale, you're rounding the upper back. And last one, opening up that elbow. And then exhale, release. Release the arm. Just come onto your back with your knees bent. And notice for a moment, following your breath in and out. And hopefully this truck will be done soon. Filling the propane. Okay. From here, you guys, your choice. You can rock yourself up, bring your knees into your belly, or you could roll to your side and come up. Okay. And we'll come onto our hands and knees. You could always be on forearms if your wrists are bothering you. And we're going to move through some cats and cows, but in a sequential way. Of course, if you can't bear weight on the knees, you can do this seated instead, okay? What we'll do is first, we're just going to move the tail, just the hips area, the pelvic area. We'll inhale, try to tilt that tail up, and exhale, try to tuck it under. Yeah, just the tail. The upper body can move too, of course, but try to focus just on the tail area, trying to isolate it. And of course, only move in the amount that feels okay in your own low back. Okay, now let's focus more on this lumbar area and the belly. So think about the belly, inhale, moving toward the floor. And then think about the belly moving up toward the ceiling and the low back arching toward the ceiling. Yeah, and then again, belly button toward floor, belly button toward ceiling. And again, noticing what amount of movement feels okay in your own low back, not overdoing it. Good. You know, and some people have fused vertebrae, like people have all sorts of things going on, right? So you just move what you can move and notice it. Okay, now let's focus on the sternum. So like the chest right here, right? And we'll focus on inhale, moving the sternum toward the floor. And exhale, sucking it up toward the ceiling, or not sucking. Sorry, I shouldn't say that because that makes you think like you're going to suck in your breath. I don't want you to do that. Okay, so you inhale, chest toward floor. Exhale, chest rounds or back rounds. Chest towards ceiling. Okay, now let's try the throat area. So you're going to have to do what's okay with your neck, right? So I could do throat toward floor. You could think chin forward and then chin toward chest. And just see what amount feels okay in your own neck. Go slowly. So Heidi like this, like boom, boom, but only the amount that feels okay on your neck. Okay, now you might need a little break on the wrist. So let's come down to forearms. Now, could you move your cat and cow? So we'll do the whole spine. Don't have your knees too close to your elbows. Make sure your elbows are forward enough so that your whole back is spread out. And now see if you can tuck the tail under first and then roll sequentially up the spine, and the chin tucks under last. And then inhale, tilt the tail up first. Chin stays tucked until the wave-like movement of your spine reaches your neck. And repeat, moving with the pelvis first. Just noticing what parts of your spine are easy to notice and what parts are more challenging. Good, you guys. Next time that you come into the up position, the tail up, let's walk the knees back and come down into Sphinx pose. Now remember, in Sphinx pose, depending on how your back feels, you could be propped up on elbows with the elbows right below the shoulders, or you might need to have your elbows further forward or even wide if your low back hurts when you're propped up. Okay, so you decide what's right for your body. And then inhale and press your pubic bone to the floor so your glutes engage. And exhale, engage your lower abdominals so you're not in your low back. Good. Then inhale, spread across the collarbones and just look ahead of your fingers on the mat. Good. Nice. And exhale, maybe turn very gently, turn your head to one side. Just notice, go slowly so you notice what your neck wants. And then inhale back to the center. And exhale very slowly, go to the other side, engaging your glutes the whole time. Good. Inhale, center. And exhale, chin towards chest, whatever amount feels okay. And inhale, center, and maybe even a little up if that feels okay on your neck. Good, and just exhale back to neutral. And then bringing your head down toward the backs of your hands Just wiggle your hips a little bit. Notice how your low back feels, right? So taking care of your back by really checking in often and modifying as you need it. And let's inhale, come back up into whatever kind of Sphinx feels okay to you. And exhale, engage your glutes again. Press your pubic bone down. Now, some of you will stay right where you are if your low back is tender and you don't want to come up any higher. But some of you might like to inhale, keep pressing pubic bone down. You might like to try to lift the elbows up and exhale, place them back down and repeat. This can be really helpful for bulging discs. Often when you have a bulging disc, it's bulging out the back. So this helps to kind of squeeze it in and just relieve some tension on the nerves. However, if you have spinal stenosis in your low back and a bulging disc, right, you might find that this isn't a position you like, right? So you get to decide, okay? You always get to decide what is working for your own body. Okay. And now let's slowly come up from Sphinx, just back up onto our knees. So like we did last week, we crawled one knee forward and then we got our elbows underneath us and exhale as you bring the other knee up. So when you have spinal stenosis, often what gives it relief, because it's a narrowing on the back of the spine, it is helpful to round and fold forward. So you can notice, is that something that feels better in your back? Is that the position that gives you relief? Right? It's kind of rounding. It can be any forward fold. If child's pose isn't great for your knees, you could always straighten your legs in front and fold this way, right, to get the rounding. Yeah, so it's totally up to your body and exploring like what does feel better, what feels good, what feels not so good. And that can change on a daily basis. All right, we're gonna try sitting with our legs folded back. And this is always a fun one for people with knee stuff and hips. So I'm going to show you a bunch of ways. And if you know, like, it's just not going to be, I don't have enough props at home, you could sit on your chair, okay? Because we're going to need a folded, this is what we're going to need. We're going to need a folded up blanket to put on our heads. I know that sounds crazy, but we're going to do it. Okay. And you need it like folded. You could, at home, you could even use a book if you want. We're balancing it on our head. Little package. You could use a towel. And then you need stuff to sit on, okay? Because I'm going to show lots of ways, because this is a great pose to relieve, to stretch your feet and your quads. And I have a knee injury right now, so I have to sit on blocks. And you can stack two of them. You can also stack the blocks wide, right? So more of your hips are supported. And some people find that even 2 blocks is not enough and they need more stuff below. And that's fine too. So you can get pillows, a stool if you're at home can work if it's an open stool. Yeah, and just kind of find, is there a position? Some people, the limiting factor is their feet. And this is just like gives them cramps. And what you can do is put a rolled up blanket or towel below the ankles right here. And that can really help the feet. Okay, you guys are good in here. You're fine, huh? And if you can go lower, if you can be down here without pain, go lower, right? To get somewhat of a stretch. Like I don't get a stretch at all when I sit here like this. Yeah. Do you guys get a stretch? Yeah. You get a stretch. Okay, cool. And it's okay if you don't. This doesn't need to be a quad stretch pose. I want you to just take care of your knees mainly. Okay. Yeah, but some of you might really feel a quad stretch. All right, now we're going for the head blanket. So if you can't tolerate this at home, if you haven't been able to find enough props to do it, you can sit in a chair instead. And I'll show you what we'll do in a chair, okay? And we're gonna put the blanket on our heads, Okay, and try to get it right in the middle so your head is straight. Okay, the idea here is we're strengthening our neck. Okay, and breathe. Okay, you breathe in. Yeah, might not stay there very well. You know, if you need to open it wider, you can always do that. And what we're going to do is we're going to try to inhale, come up, or you can exhale, doesn't matter, and then sit back down. Now that's too much for my knee, so I'm bringing my blocks up higher so I don't go back as far, right? Now in the chair, you're doing the same thing, okay? But you're going to be standing and sitting. So it's like this. Okay, good. I'm still on the camera. Yeah, you got it, Phyllis. Exactly. And this will be a leg strengthener anyway, right? To do all these little squats, standing and sitting with control. Good. Yeah, nice, you guys. Just make sure, I want you to have zero knee pain. So that's what we're looking for, zero knee pain. And if your blanket falls and you lose it, don't worry, okay? You just picture those, you know, just so elegant. I picture the elegant women in Africa carrying water on their heads, carrying baskets of produce on their heads. And a lot of those people don't have neck problems because their necks are so strong. Yeah, they get the strength. They make these little bean bags for your head that are like bigger than regular bean bags. I've got a couple of them. You can walk around your house with it on your head. Yeah, they're cool. I really like them. Maybe I'll send you guys the link in case you're interested. It improves your posture, of course, too, right? Because you can't have a forward head. All right, am I distracting you enough? Are you breathing? Good, one more time. Good, you guys. And then if you're in the chair, you can just stay there because we'll come to standing in a moment. And if you're on the floor with me, everybody can take their blankets off. And if you're on the floor, stretch those legs out. Just come forward, stretch your legs out. Yeah. And then you can do your bear get up and maybe move your stuff off your mat in the process and come to standing. And once you get up to standing, we'll just do a few shoulder rolls here, noticing how your neck and shoulders feel. I'll be right back, just grabbing the clock so I don't go over again. There's quite a commotion outside. What is going on? Oh, it's a party. This always happens. Somebody sits right there for the restaurant. Yeah, exactly. Okay, good. And then just stand for a moment, you guys. We'll go back inward here. You can let your eyes close if you'd like. Let your arms hang. Follow your breath in and out. Feeling the balls and heels of your feet on the floor. And let your hips be behind you, right? So you're not pressing them forward. They can let them go back the opposite way. Yeah, there you go, Heidi. Yeah. I know so many of us are used to tucking our pelvises under. Let that behind be behind you. Good. Nice. And then opening your eyes if they're closed. Just notice whatever is in front of you. And follow your breath in. And let's use our ocean breath, or that ujjayi breath where you can hear it in your throat. Remember that one? It's like you inhale through the nose. And then as you exhale, we can start with pursed lips like this. That's just to practice getting all the air out, getting a long exhale. So if you can inhale and feel the expansion down here, and then you can try that fogging up the mirror breath. And now that's the noise I'm talking about, that little whisper noise. And so now the ujjayi breath, which is the victory breath, is that same noise with your mouth closed. So it's almost like you're sighing against the back of your lips. And it can help you to lengthen the exhale. It also can help calm your nervous system, this breath. Good. All right. Now you can try keeping that breath as you continue with movement. We're going to widen the feet and just swing and twist. So this is a great movement to do for your spine every day when you wake up. You know, when you wake up, I mean, I don't know if you do, but many people, including myself, feel stiff when you wake up in the morning. You know, so this just gets your blood moving, and it keeps the muscles around your spine more limber, right? Just kind of wakes them up, gets some blood flow. All right, then coming back to the center here, we're gonna just remind ourselves, I think we did them last week, but of the movements of the shoulder blade. And the reason why is because this can really help with posture, which can help the spine, and it can also help with neck pain, okay? And so our shoulder blades, these guys back here, right? They can elevate, so just elevate them, right? And they can depress, bring them down, okay? Elevate and depress. Okay. And now instead of depressing them, just relax them. Right. So they're not up high. Oftentimes we do things with them elevated and we don't even realize it. Right. So they're not up high. They're just at ease and we're not forcing them down. Okay. Now the other thing they can do is the one we work on a lot, which is we're going to put our arms in front for this. They can protract where they widen apart from one another. There's the space between them gets wide, and then they can retract. So I'm not going to bend my elbows or widen my elbows. It's like I'm trying to pinch something with them between my shoulder blades. And keep the arms straight, you guys at home. Yeah, keep them straight. So you just draw them straight back and push them forward. Okay. Now it helps to do this with the feedback of something beneath your hands. So you can go to a wall, or if you can bear weight of your body on a chair, you can do a chair plank. Okay, that's harder. I want to be clear. It's harder. So you can put your hands into the wall. You could use that wall there because it's just more, you can use the mirror. I'm going to show it with a chair because I don't have a wall that's close for the camera. And you guys, what it looks like is you relax your neck so you do not elevate the shoulder blades, right? You keep them relaxed. And then you just retract, relaxing the neck, and protract, retract, and the arms stay straight. And you try to breathe as you do it. So don't bend the elbows, Cody. Don't bend the elbows. We're doing just what we did a moment ago. This one, right? Retract, protract, retract, protract. Yeah. So keep the hands pressing into the wall and then just try to squeeze these guys together. Yes. Yep. And now widen them. Yeah. Relax here. And try to pinch my hand. It's hard, huh? Yeah. And the reason why it's hard, you guys, it's if you're new to this, you guys that have been with me a while, I do this all the time and people start to get it. But when you first learn it, it's hard because it's not because you're not strong. It's just the muscles aren't connected to your brain. It's like you don't know how to turn them on, if that makes sense. And for you guys that have been doing it a while and know it, you might try to do the push-up version on the chair. I can see that you guys are doing that. Just because then you also get the benefit of some core work. We're just going to do a few of these, so maybe do 4 more. Yeah, Cody, you're getting more movement already. Yeah, you're starting to get it. I like this one a little better than on hands and knees, the wall and the chair version, just because on hands and knees, people tend to do cat and cow instead, right? Think shoulders, Heidi, not hips. Yeah, hips stay exactly where they are, right? And it's just happening here. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, you're starting to get it. Just keep those hips lifted a little higher. I would even do this with your hips. See how I'm kind of, yeah, like lift your butt up and do it, because then you won't be going into your back. I don't want you to go into your back. All right, everybody take a break when you're ready into either wall or chair down dog. It's the same thing on the wall, Cody. You just kind of put your hands on the wall and walk your feet back. Yeah, you got it. And just stretch it out. Let your whole upper body lengthen. Following the breath in and following your breath out. Good. And now let's slowly walk back towards your chair or the wall and just round. So bend the knees and roll yourself up. And once you get up to standing, inhale, roll the shoulders up. Exhale, take them down your back, and you can come into your back into your space if you use the wall. We're just going to inhale, take the feet about shoulders distance. And Phyllis, you can just do this with your arms down. Do a side. Actually, let's all do the side bend with our arms down first. Going to inhale here, exhale, lean, and feel the texture of your clothing on the way down. Inhale up, exhale, lean. So you know how far your spine wants to go, and your spine might only want to side bend a tiny bit. So it might just want to go like that far, right? Or it might want to go really far. Good. And then coming up toward the center, you can soften the knees a little bit more and just roll the hips around, hula hoop the hips, and then roll them in the opposite direction. Good. All right. We're going to do our walk the line. I think we've done this maybe the first week. We might have done this one, but this time we're going to do it with the invitation to balance something on your head. So you can't look down. It's just an invitation, okay? So if you remember walk the line, what it is, I'll remind you because it's been several weeks. What you're trying to do is walk on a line with two different textures if possible. So I've got half my foot on the mat and half on the floor, and I'm just walking one foot in front of the other slowly. And then when I get to the end of my line, I'm going to try to walk backwards. Hopefully nobody was traumatized by people who made them walk with books on their heads or anything. I had somebody tell me that once, that their mother was very strict. Okay, and then the other side. So I'm going to the other side so I get a different texture on either side of the foot, which helps build proprioception. And if the thing on the head is too much, just walk the line without the thing on the head. And just imagine you've got something on your head. So you've got that same alignment and your neck is long. Yeah, so that alone can be hard. Sometimes, Heidi, I have people do it with the wall at their side. You could always try that at home, Yeah, just walk along a wall. Yeah, there you go, Cody. And you can do it on here too, Heidi. Like you could just, and walk on, use these. Yeah, right. Use the line on the floor. This is a wonderful, just agility and balance exercise to do often. You can make it harder by balancing something on your head. You can make it harder by walking on a 2x4 on the ground. Yeah, not everybody needs to make it harder. Good job. Yeah, exactly. There you go. Yeah, remember to breathe, right? Yeah. Okay. And wherever you are, you can practice this more later at home too. Whatever you got to, good job. Okay. And then come back to your space. And let's have a seat. You can sit in the chair or you can sit on the floor. I'm going to sit in the chair. Okay. I'm going to sit toward the front of my chair so my spine can be more upright and I have a little space. Okay, I am going to end on time. I'm going to end on time. We're just going to do one little neck thing here. Or actually, maybe we will just do our mudra and save that neck thing for next week. So get comfortable. Okay, this mudra is called the treasure chest. And what you do is you take your left hand, palm facing up, kind of cupped, and then the other one comes on top. So it's like it's like you've got a little treasure in your hands. Yeah, it's like this. You see, Arlene? Yeah. Yes, exactly. Yeah, left hand on bottom. And then you can just rest it on your lap, or you could hold it in front of your belly if that's relaxing enough for you. And what this mudra is meant to, what the intention of it is to connecting to your inner truth. What's true for you. And the mantra that I have that goes with it is aligned with the voice of my inner being. I communicate clearly and truthfully. Aligned with the voice of my inner being, I communicate clearly and truthfully. You can just breathe here, noticing whatever you notice, letting your shoulders be at ease for a few breaths. One of the yamas in yoga, the yamas are one of the 8 limbs of yoga, and they're observances, and is truthfulness, right? It's not just about being honest with people, but about being honest with yourself as well, your own needs, and being able to communicate your truth, speaking your truth. You can let your arms rest whenever, roll your wrists if you'd like to. And you can, if you're more comfortable seated, you can always stay in the chair for the final relaxation, or you can come down to the floor. If you're coming to the floor, just do so consciously, right? Exhaling as you come off your chair to move. And you can consciously come down to the floor, maybe using the bear get down. And then getting yourself comfortable using whatever props will help you be comfortable. We'll use a little bit of pranayama for the first minute of our resting practice. In the first bit, you can use your Ujjayi breath or any method to lengthen your exhale. You can think about inhaling for a count of 4 and exhaling for a count of 6 or longer. So inhaling to 4 and exhaling to 6. And then as you're ready, you could let go of that breath control. Just let yourself breathe in your natural breath. And practice letting go of as much effort as you can here. Allowing your tongue and jaw to soften and your eyes to soften. And allowing that softness or inviting that softness to move down into your throat, your shoulders, arms, and hands. Inviting that softness to move down into your chest and belly. And down into your legs and feet. You might allow something to come to mind that is true for you in this moment or today or lately. Just something that you know, and maybe it's about something you need to do for your own self-care that you need to be honest with yourself about. Or maybe it's a reassurance for yourself. And then allow yourself to let go for a moment into that sense of inner knowing, and the comfort in just knowing what's true or right for you. And I'll let you just take your own time to come out of your practice today. And I thank you for joining me. I'll see you next week. Mhm.